Do we take orders for market manipulation? Yeah. I do take orders from market. That would be hilarious, man. I can do market assassination work. I can do that. I will take a payment. I will take payment for putting 100 billion in certain markets. That'd be hilarious. I think there's something there. Pump and dump, exactly. To be fair, there were some intro minutes at the start. We're not quite at 30 minutes. That's right, Chikoken. You're getting your money's worth. I will not stop at 2 hours sharp. I will go over. I promise. What if I deliver my loot for you to sell and you take your cut and getting a better price? You can always do that, Chiromancer, man. That is my dream situation. If anybody wants to contract their loot to me and Jita, do it. Exactly. Chiromancer, that is my dream situation. So if anyone, you would just have to contract it to me at like halfway between buy and sell. So that's that'll be good. And exactly, so the Oz going into industry part of things is just the next step in taking over the world, really. The billions I have pumped into PI hasn't moved the needle. No, but I haven't tried to support specific markets. I'm just buying as an investment. Chicken head. Oz buyback at Jita split. In Jita? Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah, I'll buy back at Jita split. Fuck yeah. When you do your alts from 0 to PLEX, do you sell all your stuff at the home base or you move it to Jita? Iron, do you mean the stuff that you make from the career missions? Is that what you're talking about? A lot of nullsec buybacks are pretty popular at 97% Jita buy. Well, yeah, because then you have to move it from from null to Jita, which is a pain in the ass. Oh, okay, Iron, to answer your question, that's a very good question, and I'm surprised nobody has asked it before. So the question is, what do we do with all the stuff that we get from the career missions? And what I do is I look at the current prices in the starter systems, because typically there are always some entrepreneurial traders that have buy orders for frigates and destroyers in the starting systems. I used to have my own orders when I didn't have as much money as I have now. I have my own orders out there in the starting systems for these frigates, because you can make a lot of money. If you can get good money for them, and good money I mean just, you know, anything reasonable, I just dump it in the starting system. Everything else I put in that industrial that you get from the career missions, and I fly it over to Jita. And I rank it by worth, right? I do the highest worth value that I can put in the industrial, in the T1 industrial that you get from career missions. I put them in there, and then I fly them to Jita, but I only do that once and I never look back. And from that, you should be able to get between 12 and 14 million. So the closest trade hub is always going to be Amardo, Dixie, or Jita, depending on whether you have an Amar, Galente, or Kaldari twin. Yeah, ISK per cubic meter, Techno, exactly. Techno says all the things in a smart way that I say in a normal way. Yeah, it's true. No love for Heck, no love for Renz. No love for Heck or Renz. The thing is, you have 3 characters. and you should put them in the three largest trade hubs, because already in Dodixie it's a pain in the ass making money, or it's not a pain in the ass making money. I made a lot of money in Dodixie, but it's a pain in the ass finding good items. And Rents and Heck are even smaller than Dodixie, so it's fine for alpha trading, but you outgrow it fairly quickly. While we're this zero to Plex intro is the longest zero to Plex intro of all time. But I'm gonna pull up chief assets right here. Let's see here. Does this work? There we go. Yeah, you can make nice money in all trade hubs as an alpha, because you don't need much, right? You just need an item that is turning maybe 10 or 20 million a day in value, and you can look that up on adam4eve.eu, and that has a margin close to like 100%, and you're fine, right? In the beginning it's very easy, but then you outgrow it eventually. But yeah, definitely I'm not discounting Rens and Heck. It's probably similar to Dodixie. It's just you can tell by so this is the zero to Plex net worth graph from the first month, right? We started it a month ago, and we've grown it to over $1 billion by station trading only, updating orders only once a day, and we're currently at 1.074 billion. And if we break that down by trade hub, we can see that Dodixie has actually 450 million. So Dodixie is the most valuable out of all of these. Amar is at about 300 million, and Jita actually dropped in value a lot to drop 318 million. So Lyriel or Erie, I don't know. Does once a day mean like 1 hour play? No, man, hell no. I don't have an hour to spend on this shit. This is once a day logging in, updating all buy orders, and every other day or so updating sell orders if shit's not selling. 20 minutes max. Because I don't like, if you would trade for several hours a day on one account, then you should be making way more than $1 billion in a month. Because if you can keep updating your orders and always be on top of the market, then you're gonna make a lot of more money than this. This is just natural fluctuations. This is just taking in natural fluctuations of the market. Yeah, Cedar, that's right. So yeah, but you can actually see, so Dodixie is the most, in this zero to Plex challenge, Dodixie was the most profitable trade hub, which is really nice. Yeah. If you're trading in the wrong, if you're trading a lot in the wrong items, then for sure panic. And Computerspieler, that doesn't surprise me because you already make billions, so you're just getting what you deserve for putting in the time. But yeah, didn't they make it less profitable to be updating your orders frequently? Erie, they did, but it doesn't really matter for buy orders, because buy orders you're gonna put in a player run citadel. So in that case, you're only going to pay 1%, and it's not going to be affected by the new changes. For sell orders, it's very expensive, but even that's only going to rob you like 3 to 4% when you update orders. And in an alpha, if you're trading as an alpha with not a lot of cash to invest, you're never going to be investing in items under like 50% margin or something. So you're not really going to care about the 3 to 4%. Hashtag worth. Not sure. I'm just maybe slow today. Sorry. Buy orders can get expensive if you modify them a lot. Yeah, but I mean, you know, you're gonna have to update them a lot. But yeah, sure. It can mean that. It's still better than. I'm refilling my drink. You hear that? It's still better than replacing the entire order. So this is it. Dodixie was the most successful. That is very, very surprising. Let's look at some of the items that have taken us to $1 billion. So if you look at the most profitable items, and that's what you see right here, it's sorted. This is the trade sheet that I make for the community. You can download the sheet and use it. I just linked it in the chat. If you look at the profit made, you can see that a lot of this was lucky as well. Well, luck, you know, luck is a lot of good investments. The Fierce electrical filaments, they obviously exploded in the last few days. So we just started trading in them, and they went through the roof. This has a lot to do with so this 14 million, by the way, the 14 million sell price right here, that is not what is reflected here, right? This is a price of about 4 million because this was updated about 2 hours ago or an hour ago. This 14 million that you just saw here is a newer development. So apparently somebody is buying out all the Fierce electrical filaments again. And that's how we end up with something like this and 100 million profit. But a more accurate representation would be like 60 or 70 million here. Either way, you can see that out of the first 6 items, 5 are filaments, and that should tell you a lot. In that I've done 2 of these 0 to PLEX challenges as an alpha. Filaments are just a fantastic way to make money if you trade in them, because you can move. They are available in all price categories, from tranquil to chaotic. Actually, even more now, right? They even have the tier 6s, whose name I forgot right now. They have they should be like terrible filament. Terrifying filaments. Cataclysmic, that's what they are. Cataclysmic. So you at every point of investment, you have a filament that fits your budget, and so trading in them just makes a lot of money. You can see here that I've made 30, 40, 50, 60 million in the first month on all of these filaments. Not only the abyssal ones, but also the noise and signal filaments. Obviously, the ESS changes recently helped push this along, but nevertheless, it's a good investment. On top of that, tier 1 or meta modules work really well when you're doing 0 to PLEX. We've shown that a lot. The best way is to use Adam for Eve to do that. I'm going to show that one last time today, so that if some of you are new to this, you can see how I pick my items. But overall, you can see like relevant profits is about 20 or 30 items over this month, and average average growth profit margin. So average growth profit margin along all of the items is 93%. So just about 100%. So this is what you would call ISK doubling. Vitor, man, we have VIPs in the house, man. Thank you for the follow, dude. And you guys, So Vitor, you've never been to my stream before, right? As I gathered from our conversation earlier, but okay, hold on one second, because guys, Vitor created the most useful and sexy looking application, third-party application in Eve. So make sure you check out the Abyssal Tracker. It's absolutely amazing. It's very useful, not only if you run Abyssals, but also if you're investing in filaments and other loot items from the Abyss. And so Vitor, thank you, man, for the work that you do. Hell yeah, man. And thanks for stopping by. Let me catch up on chat here. All it took was one dude saying they made 900 million per hour. Oh, yeah, but you know. Dank Cook, are you just placing buy orders in Jita or filaments and relisting? No, I never put buy orders in Jita. Always put buy orders in the Tranquility Trading Hub and Perimeter. Unless you hate money. If they gain wealth merely by owning massive amounts of fierce electricals, who am I to say what decisions they should make? After all, it lines my wallet. Exactly. Big question, why does Adam for Eve show the lowest buy price and highest sell price? Why not the other way around? That's not what's happening, Sean. That shouldn't be. If you were correct, then that would be terrible, but I can't I can't confirm that. Screenshot or it didn't happen. Yeah, thank you, Cedar, for posting that that Abyss tracker. Contaminate Lawrence Fluent are getting even cheaper. All right, we'll check them out, dude. We'll check them out. Does that mean you need to move your trader between Jita and Perimeter? It means you have to do that if you're an alpha trader. But as an alpha trader, you can remotely sell, you just can't put remote buy orders. So as an alpha trader, all you do is you put it in Perimeter and you can remotely sell in Jita and put your buy orders in Perimeter. So the only thing you have to fly to Jita for is for updating your sell orders. That's all. How do I get an app hosted by Eve and T? How do I get an app hosted? I don't know, man. I just sit in Jita, maybe haul once every week. Yeah, Chainsaw, you're an Omega trader, I'm sure. Are you going to do a cheat sheet of the things that will change when you become Omega? I mean, we like yeah. I think we can do a stream episode on that. I can answer some of those questions on Wednesday, for example. We can talk about what the changes are, but generally speaking, yeah, the changes are quite significant between Alpha and Omega, because immediately you go from 17 orders to hundreds of orders, so your strategy can change completely. Yeah, no, so Adam for Eve is showing exactly what Jita is showing. Possibly they're using other names for it. What do you do when the profit margins of an item you're trading in become too small? I leave. I do this all the time. So if the profit margins get squeezed, then you just leave. You just stop putting in your buy orders, you liquidate out, and then you go. What do you think about standings? So faction standings can save you about 0.3% in the long run. So if you are trading in very high volumes, then in high frequency, then it's definitely worth it investing in getting your faction standings up. But don't worry about it if you don't want to. I think it's not gonna break your game. It's not gonna break your game. It's the after the decimal dot that is going to change, and that will be a lot if you invest a lot, and it will be a little if you invest a little. So if I wanted to push you out of the market, all I gotta do is eliminate your profit margin. Well, there's two reasons to be invested in a market, and margin is only one. So it's possible that there's absolutely no margin in an item, and I'm totally into it. And the difference is that on the alpha account, what I'm doing is I'm day trading. I'm trying to capitalize on the changes between the highest buy order and the lowest sell order. That's on the alpha account because that's just putting orders in, getting them fulfilled, immediately turning around and selling it again. On my omega account, on the alpha, on the Aeon and Delta funds, that is not what I do. I go in and I buy stuff that I think is currently too cheap, regardless of the margin that it's showing. So if you're investing hundreds of billions, then you're probably not trading on the margin. The margin is just a nice little bonus if it happens to be there. It's kind of like an insurance, that margin. Perfect faction standings would have saved me 750 million in taxes over the past month. You must have traded a lot. Yeah, and let me tell you, it is a lot of work to go from 5% to 3%. Yeah, Elite Drone AI. We are heavily invested in that on the Aeon fund for sure. Okay, let me just jump into the game. It's been almost 50 minutes. We can jump into the game, but keep this in mind. This is basically the way to the billion, right? These are the items that took me there, and it's a mixture of filaments, of abyssal filaments, of needlejack filaments, and tier 1 and meta faction modules, meta modules. That's pretty much what took me there. There are many paths that you can take to a billion, but this is definitely one easy way. I have been faction standing grinding for about 6 months on and off. 3.05 broker fee, so I'm not done yet, but it's nice distraction to do it. Yeah, if you know, if it's not painful to you, then you know, by all means do it. It can be relaxing as well. You can do distribution missions up and down the Ono chain, right? You guys know what I'm talking about. The Ono chain is near and dear to my heart. Okay, we're logging in. Here we go. Yeah, Computerspieler. That's what she said. And what MPOs a lot said apparently. Okay, yeah, sorry about that. Bye. Oz, this is as you can see, this is the Dodixie character, 44 million, Amar 52 million, Oz Jita 42 million. It's been oddly it's been oddly linear. It's been very, very similar trading in all three hubs. So as an alpha, the difference is not that big between each of the hubs. So even if you went with Rec and Hence, I believe the result wouldn't be all that different. But the nice thing about these having these three is that you can actually scale them after you turn Omega and have a few billion to invest. So let's start on Jita as usual. Phenom, you got 5 more suits? Nice, dude. I love my suit. Thank you so much. I didn't know it existed. That totally went by me, and I'm wearing it with pride. Please board a Caldari shuttle with the Jita out. Why is that, Bonsai? Just because you like Caldari? 53 minutes. Yeah. Who wins? Anyway. Look at this. This is I even have a Caldari shuttle on the Jita alt. Oh, this is what you're talking about. Sorry. Yeah. The reason I really like the look of the Galante shuttle. That's why I buy it. I like it. Since I've missed most of the stream, have you noticed a difference this time with a lot more viewers? As it's harder to make profits compared to the last time. Yeah. Frosty, I have. I mean, it's still like totally. It's the items get assassinated pretty much every time. I've had to jump around a lot. In total I've traded to get to the first billion. I've traded in about 80 items, and last time I was able to fly under the radar for a lot of them, especially the pirate tags. So the last time I did this, so what Frosty is referring to is I did this same challenge in February, and when I did in February with like 20 or 30 viewers every week or every day, I was able to make a lot of money on pirate tags, for example. And I feel like pirate tags, I ruined that market forever after that, because just like filaments are the top now, back then 5 out of the top 10 items were pirate tags, and they've never been the same. So I think since I've put that list of top items in the Oz sheet as well, that about 1,000 people have downloaded, yeah, it's been different for sure. Yes, Galante shuttles are big. Tartarus, what's up, dude? Yeah. Minmatar. Oh, Minmatar is terrible. Valendil, man, thank you for that tier 1 subscription, dude. We assassinate items here. Yes. Absolutely, that's market PvP. But yeah, pirate tags are now a a pain in the butt to trade. Sorry, it's just I'm not gonna recover today. Pirate tags are a pain now, because the volume isn't big enough. So if you're the only one profiting on them, then it works. But if 10 or 15 people join the fight, then you're never gonna make any money on it again. Yeah. All right, Valendil, thank you, man, for that. I was just leaving trade items in his wake, battered and bruised. Yep. So, let's have a look real quick on what the orders are. We can see here we have 4 orders outstanding, and if we look at the wallet, we have 40 million in cash. So there's about 2 items we can invest in. So that's the first big difference to the beginning, right? In the beginning, we started with 20 million per character or something. So we invested $1 million or $2 million in 10 items. So in the beginning, the world was our oyster pretty much. We could invest in any item that had 100 million or 100% profit, because $1 million in daily volume is nothing, right? So you could easily invest in a ton of items. What we're doing now is we need to up the game, because now we have $1 billion, and if you want to invest in, let's say, let it be 15 items or something, but if you have 300 million per character, and you spread that over 10-15 items, you're still going to invest like 20 million or so in each item. And so now we're going to need items that trade much more in the 100 million per day region, because you don't want to buy up or sell the complete daily volume, because that's not going to be realistic, and you're just going to have your orders unfulfilled. So we need bigger items, and that's why also I've moved up in filaments lately a lot. You can see here the items that I'm buying right now. I am trying my hand at these new Pochven filaments, just for shits and giggles. I haven't. I've been able to fulfill this a little bit, but it's tough because there's a ton of people actually trading in this. So this probably gonna head out of there, because tried for 2 days, only got 4 fulfilled. It's just too much competition, so I'm gonna get out of here. These are also a pain in the ass. You can the like 80% profit is nice. Profit margin is nice that you can get here, but very hard to get it fulfilled, because there's 5 to 10 people trading in it, and the daily volume of 100 is much more on the buyers, and got 3 of them fulfilled, so no good canceling this. Agitated gamma, these all work really well, right? Oh, look at this guy made a mistake. Thank you, I'm buying your shit. Boom. If you don't know what I just did there, you need to watch it in slow motion. This works really well, so I am going to up this. Get it back on top. Agitated gamma filaments. The margin is not great right now. Let's look at the overall development here. You can easily tell that the agitated gamma filament is going through phases, and right now it's in a lull again. I don't see a reason why it shouldn't shoot up again. Gamma filaments are becoming more popular again, as electrical filaments are getting more expensive. So good buy price out here. Good buy price. Also, remember our list of items. Agitated gamma filament, number 4 most profitable item in our challenge. Average buy price $3.59, average sell price $5.96. Raging firestorms. Now they have been absolutely exploding in price, and I don't know if I'm gonna move to 400k. 400k is right here, and that's already a ridiculous price. You might be caught with your pants down on here. So I might not, especially because the margin is squeezed. The margin's only like 10% anymore, which is way too low for an alpha trading. Never ever trade items at 10% margin as an alpha, because you're actually losing money. Announcer, we need a caster. We can have an alliance trading tournament. How about that? By the way, at this point in time, I want to mention that about 2 months ago, I had this whole competition planned out. It was called King of Jita, right? And it was a trading competition where it pitted all the traders against each other, investing 100 million ISK, and whoever could make the most out of 100 million ISK with only station trading in 2 weeks. I think that's the greatest competition ever in the game. I even had CCP community representatives willing to support it if we open it up to everyone. And then we open it up and 3 people signed up. Okay? So I don't know if we have a bigger community now, or it will, you know, or if people are more invested in trading, or there's more good traders now, but I feel like we are going to have to try again, and we will have to get more than 3 signups this time. I mean, I need at least 10 to make it a competition, because then we can do what Techno said about sportscasting trading. I think that will be the pinnacle of what EVE trading could be. And the greatest thing is that you can take all of it. You can take all the winnings and raffle them off, or give them to the winner. You know. So, yeah. So we can open that up in a few months again, and then see if we get more signups this time. Yeah, but Computerspieler, this is for the glory, right? This is for the title King of Jita. So you can only call yourself King of Jita if you win the King of Jita competition, right? So that's good sportscasting, man. Yeah, it can easily be gamed. You're right. You're right. You're absolutely right. It can easily be gamed. But you know, I feel like if we opened up the transactions to everyone and had everyone be able to check, I think we might be able to identify cheaters. I don't know. Or we do it within the community, and I mean, you know, just for the glory. Just for the glory, for the King of Jita title. And for a shirt. Maybe for a shirt. Yeah? Anyway, let's move back here. Raging firestorms. I don't want to update these. I'm gonna actually cancel this one as well. Corelli A-type. I was only able to get 5 of them of this buy order fulfilled in the last 12 hours. But they're trading at 100% profit, so at least we are making a little bit of money on it. I'm going to give it another chance here. Tranquil Electricals, very nice margin. Been popular, trending upwards, 500 traded a day. The only problem is the massive competition that we have going on. And obviously I didn't get any of them fulfilled, so also here I am okay. I need to do that here. Cancel order. We're gonna reinvest our money right here. Multispectrum, this worked really well. So we're going to put this back on top of the pile. What's a whoopsie? Does it have good margin? I accidentally sold 10 orcas to my alt for 1 ISK each. On the market? But are you going to dance on stream to the song Bongo Bong Manu Chao? Possibly. If we get the King of Jita going. I'll take one which denigrates hypernet gamblers as mathematically challenged. Oh yeah, I still have to make that shirt. You're absolutely right. What do I think of Infiltrator EV 600s? Check it out. I mean, we'll just do live trading here. Just give me items. We'll talk about them. This is too low volume for me to trade in it, because on some days there's just 20 of them trading, and at 6,000 this is way too cheap, and then it's very erratic. I mean, you can surely you can make a profit on these, don't get me wrong, right? But that profit is just extremely limited because of the small amount of ISK that exchanges hands for this item every day. I'll donate a suit to whoever wins King of Jita if it ever happens. Hell yeah, dude, Phenom. Thank you. Check out those contaminated Lawrence fluids. They're getting crazy low. Oh yeah. We have a bunch of people invested in that. Nice. Okay. Yeah, this is ridiculously low territory right now. Yeah, this is still definitely buy territory, and I don't even think that the risk is too high. You can just buy these. So MP owes a lot. You're saying if you're the only seller in Jita for 249 here, I'm guessing. I mean, it's good for you. But I don't think a lot of people are going to buy them at that price. Well, possibly. Yeah. I mean, you know, still, like, the overall profit to be had is very low because there's just not a lot of ISK exchanging hands. So even if this is your market manipulation, it's a market manipulation with a lot of effort for a few million ISK in profits. How do you set the price? Well, you can look at previous spikes and see what people paid for it. So apparently in the past somebody paid 2 million for them. More realistic is this extended period of time where somebody paid, you know, 500,000. So 500,000 I think is a good price to set this right here. Yeah, I mean, these markets are easily manipulated. All I'm saying is that, you know, the most money you're going to make is, on average, this is about 50 traded on average, right? So even if you trade them at 500,000, even if you manipulate the complete market yourself and then you put them up for 500,000, if you're only selling 50, right? You're only going to sell turn over 25 million, and based on that you might be making, you know, half of that as profit, or maybe 80% of that, but it's still a lot of work for 20 million ISK, you know? You see what I mean? Yeah, I'd say anything under 1 million, most vet players won't give a shit unless they're buying. Yeah, exactly. That you're true about that, but that doesn't change the challenge with the market size. So I think if you're gonna manipulate, spend it on, like, manipulate items that that are worth it, right? So for example, something that I have manipulated several times. Reveal. Let's do a market reveal right now. Something that I've manipulated quite frequently this year is medium. I have to do it like this. Mid-grade. So for example, right? Nice computer channel, computer spieler, nice. So mid-grade implants, right? Mid-grade implants are a good example of things that can be manipulated quite well because, let's be honest, people aren't going to shop around for mid-grade implants, right? People aren't really going to care whether it's 30 million or 35 million. The volume is fairly constant regardless of price, so these types of items, these types of implants, if you see them trading down here as they do every other week or so, it's a good time to maybe buy out the market a little bit and relist, because these swings do come back, and you're never going to really get stuck all that much on with a lot of inventory on these, unless you're buying from ridiculous prices, right? So you can see here, you know, if you're gonna have to do some math, so you're gonna have to say, okay, the max price that I can sell these for is probably 35 million, right? The 35 million right here, you have to see how many implants do I need to buy up to get to 35 million. You can see here, there's a break at 36. So you might say, okay, I'm going to buy up all of these, right? All of these, and then relist them at 36. And then you just need to calculate whether the price difference minus tax is worth your manipulation time. Just saying. You can see they're all like that. Some are more flexible than others, but I love trading in these. These are some good items, man. Mid-grade crystals. Money. Yeah, and most people don't use EV draws. Is there any website that can give daily volume information? So I'm actually calculating that in my head. But you can definitely, if you want to find out the daily volume of an item, all you need to do is you can go to Atom for Eve, you go to the margin finder, and depending on what you're looking for, you know, let's say you're looking for filaments, you can put the commodity in there, you can put the forge in there, and then you can set the filter. And then you can sort this by average ISK traded, and this is the market volume I'm talking about right here. Yeah. So acidity. Another day, another set of items being ruined by us. I need to talk about something, guys. I can't just not talk about shit. You know? Anyway. Commodity is a fantastic category, by the way, to filter Atom for Eve by. So if you get bored and you're looking for items, try commodity. This is right now showing all items above 100 million. So to get back to 0 to PLEX, if you're crossing that billion in 0 to PLEX and you don't know what to invest for, make sure you set this to 100 million. If you set this to 100 million and the minimum trades right now, this is set to 1 per hour. That's fine, I guess. You can sort this by the margin. Artovitz, good evening, man. And then you can see if you want to invest in some of these. The nice thing about these is that almost all of these are good potential candidates. They're all filaments and tags, and so they all do work quite well. So if, for example, right now, let's see here, we have about 100 million to invest on this 0 to PLEX tune right here in JITA. So let's find an item, shall we? We're gonna ignore these Parchven. They're new items. They're just all over the place, and I've tried trading in them with limited success. Let's try the Caldari Navy Captain insignia, see what those are about. The 2s. Average daily volume 650 at 1 million. Okay, so nice volume. That margin just is not correct. Caldari Navy Captain insignia. Oh, 2s. Alright, I got it. Let's find an item to ruin before you can make money on it. Sure. So Cashpour at the moment waiting for those insignias and Raging Darks to turn. Hey, Raging Darks turned a little bit. They did. Okay. So these do have a good margin on them for sure at the moment. Crazy margin, but also lots of competition and very, very heavy on the buy side. So this is mostly just buy orders being fulfilled. So this is not very nice here with the dots all at the bottom. We don't like that much. Hebus, how you doing, man? So let's go back here. Agitated electrical, yeah, of course, man, of course, we know this. Maximus 07 to you as well. This is a nice graph, so we like the spread here. We like the spread a lot. We like the margin. Tripling your money sounds nice. The competition is absolutely insane. There's about 100 people buying it here. So you're never gonna get a buy order fulfilled. Unless you babysit, unless you day trade and babysit your order, you're not gonna get it fulfilled. If you are day trading, this is a fantastic item. Right now. Decayed mutaplasmids, I am not sure about. And I'm saying decayed, not dickhead, just in case you're wondering. For the Australians among us. So obviously nice margin right here. Love the graph. 70 average. So this is about 250 million a day. There's no competition. The only reason this is very profitable is because it's just, you know, exploded in price. So I'm gonna try my luck. The problem with this is doing this on stream, putting buy orders in on stream is extremely difficult, right? Because I can put this in right now and there's only 2 people competing and at least 3 of you are gonna outbid me. So I'm just gonna say good item. I would put a buy order in right now. I might later, but I don't know yet. Just so I don't waste any buy orders. But this is a good item. So unknown component. Nice item, trending up. 890 to 2 billion to 2 million is a nice margin. This one also, wow, it's a really nice item. So another candidate for sure. Janitors. Janitors. Imperial Navy Sergeant Insignia 3. Let's check those. Yeah, no, these are also heavy on the buy side, on the buy order side, but not yeah, janitor cartel all the way, man. I've enjoyed data cores. Data cores are nice because data cores are loot on one end, and on the other hand, people need it for invention. So it's an item that changes hands a lot, and that people that there's definitely a demand for. And right now, the Triglavian quantum engineering ones have an insane margin on them for an item that you know, that has a 21 billion a day trade, so trade volume. So this is right now an absolute god item. If you can get buy orders fulfilled, it's going to be tough, but you know, the volume is high enough, so maybe it'll work. So then we're getting into more filaments. Even the raging darks are up here. Calm electricals, fierce electricals. Electrical filaments are all over the place right now. Some more mutaplasmids. We saw those. What's something that's different? There's a bunch of filaments here. Glorification, proximity. And then we have some modules. Some mutaplasmids, sorry. Yeah. But that should give you an idea of which items you can trade in once you move past a billion. As I said, I'm going to do that later on stream. There are some decayed mutas that have made 70,000% margins, though, so it depends. Yeah, sure. I mean, mutaplasmids can be very profitable to trade in, because still mutaplasmids are looted in abyssal space. Most people don't value them. They just want to dump them on the market, and then you can come in and buy them in bulk. Sometimes you have a tough time selling them, but margins are typically good. What's up with the buy order blocks? Is it in hopes that someone will make a huge dump? What Artivitz, what do you mean buy order blocks? I don't really have any here, right here. Are you talking right here in here in the game? This is people. So even if it's like people put in multiple buy orders in here so that they can modify the orders more cheaply, and also so that they can profit from falling prices and not just be stuck with one price. If you have tiered orders, it makes a lot of sense for falling prices. So imagine an item falls off the cliff, and you have the top order. All of a sudden, your top order is a shit price, right? So what you want to do is you want to tier your buy orders so that if you have a falling price, you benefit from every step that it takes down. It's just like basic average pricing, cost averaging, as Grammaton Cleric is saying right there. Like a standing buy order is typically what I call it here. Techno knows that shit. Yeah, the standing buy orders. It's cost averaging, as in accounting, it's cost averaging for sure. I call them standing buy orders because that's what they are. They are standing buy orders to benefit from cost averaging, if you want to get nerdy about it. Okay. That was Jita. Let's see here. We have some sell orders here unfulfilled. Again, let me just stress the fact that even if you don't touch your sell orders during the weekend, make sure you touch them on the weekend, because on Friday it's a good time to go in and change your sell orders, because you want them to sell on the weekend. And on the alpha account, in a lot of situations, you can't just get by not touching your sell orders, because you're gonna get caught in situations like this where people are gonna undercut you by so much that it's not gonna work. And on an alpha trading account, you want volume to be moving, so you need stuff to sell, and sometimes you can sell for a loss and it really doesn't matter. You can see here, Raging Firestorms, this just hasn't worked out. I have a bunch of them for sale at 788, but the prices dropped like crazy again, and so, you know, I have to adjust them. I'm just not going to do that on a Monday. Ozzy, I get that, but there isn't a big difference sometimes. The average deviates 1%, so inefficient for average cost. Yeah, in those situations, it's just for modification cost purposes. So if you have one huge order, then you can't modify the two orders separate from each other, and sometimes that's necessary. Do you have a graphic of your hedge fund's performance? Well, not really. What we do have is a performance right here that is, in the past 46 days, this Aeon fund has increased in value by 4%. And that averages out to about 2.8% per month. I'm not proud of it, but that's what it is. The alpha fund is a different ball game. The alpha fund, so the 0 to PLEX is what you see in the background here. The alpha, the 0 to PLEX obviously had a massive increase in value, because it went from 0 to 1 billion in a month. So doubled the money every couple of days for sure. Since you need to move items, selling, buying, then buying during the week and selling on the weekends is not an option, right? Selling, buying, then... Well, not for alpha trading. For alpha trading, you want to be buying and selling all the time, because, you know, because you need to make those 17 orders work for you, and you can't afford to do buy and hold because you have higher margin goals than that. The real question is, how has the fund performed against the generic JITA index tracker? Yeah, Shikoken, there isn't really a good one though. But we can compare it against the monthly economic report for sure. Tore, how you doing, man? Thor, I've asked this before, but am I still starting to keep my buy-sell orders near the top so they actually sell without having to make loads of price updates? How do you do it? I mean, I'm still making a fair amount, but it's annoying having to update constantly. I mean, all I can say is, if you are updating it once a day and you're not getting your buy orders fulfilled, then the reason for that is either the volume in your item is not big enough, right? So, oh, I need to hide this. If the volume is not big enough, then you don't have enough trades going on for your order to get its turn again. So you need to make sure that the volume of that item is that is traded in the market every day is big enough. That's one thing. Two, you need to make sure that the dots are spread out. So if you don't see dots near the bottom ever, if all the dots are to the top, then you're never going to get a buy order fulfilled. And inversely, the same thing, right? And thirdly, you want items that are fluctuating in price, because you want these orders to get fulfilled, and to go through fluctuations so that different tiers of orders get fulfilled. And the fourth reason is you need to look at the competition. If your competition is crazy high, like more than 10 people, then you're probably not going to be able to do this. But if it's 5 people or so, then you should still be able to do that. But yeah. As that alias says, pick items with less competition. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I identified some of them earlier on stream here, right? I showed you some of them, the items that work quite well. Yeah, and just don't update all the time, yeah. What I've learned is to make my orders percentage of the volume and not always just put 100 items no matter the volume. Oh, definitely, Aaron. That's like, you're always go by, not by number of items, but always go by volume. That's the indicator. It is all about the items. I was also upping all the time at the item, but I looked a bit deeper and got the right items. Eventually found some good ones. Yeah. Also, Tore, if you want to send me an item or two that I should look at, then I'll gladly do that. I promise you I won't jump on the items because they will likely be too low anyway. So yeah. I think that that about wraps up Jita here. Let's see here. Do we have anything else? Yeah, no, I've just been priced out of a lot of these things. Maybe we'll look at one more character for 0 to Plex. But for that I need a beer, so I'm gonna go grab a beer real quick. While I'm away, guys, if you have any Twitch Prime subscriptions lying around that you're not using, and that and you like my content, then I would love to have your Twitch Prime subscriptions. We're at 2 subscriptions today, which is, you know, great. Thank you to the 2 that subscribed. But we have some room. We have a little bit of room to do a giveaway. If we get a few more, I'll throw in a giveaway. We don't have to get to 10. All right. I'll be back in 1 minute. All right. Sometimes you also end up at the right time on a certain market and make some good money. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely part of it, for sure. Okay. Cheers. Green bottles in front of a green screen is trippy. Let's check out Amara then. So in Amar, you can see here. Oh shit! This had to happen at some point. I went about a year without my lighting collapsing on itself. That's good. All right, bloopers. I get one beer, right? I get one beer and my lighting starts collapsing on itself. Give you 1 second. All right, nothing happened. What was that? Nothing happened. Yeah, I have a ring light that is clipped to the table, and it also holds, it doubles as a smartphone holder. So couldn't handle the weight anymore. Yeah. So where were we before my lamp so rudely interrupted me? Amar. In Amar, we have 3 open orders right there, and we have 50 million in cash. So let's look at the open orders that we have. I'm buying fierce exotic filaments here because they're just always very, very reliable. Even in Amar, the volume isn't as high in Amar, but you know, you can always buy and sell them. It's just a nice item to turn a profit on. So love that. Fierce gammas, very similar, especially fierce gammas right now. They're super cheap in Amar. You can see here 1.8 is ridiculously cheap. So what we do is we update all of these orders. The signal 5s, you know, they went up a lot because of the ESS changes. Because of all the bank robbing going on. And so right now, even the buy price is up, but the margin is about 100%, so from 400 to a million. I don't know if I want to risk buying in more and more, because it will also mean when the price drops, I might get stuck with them. But then again, right now, I don't think our inventory is... Yeah, we don't have that many of them, so I might as well. I'm gonna update these. Did you just say that you would accept Abyss items for a share of your fund? I'm sorry, I'm in TeamSpeak too, and a lot of people are talking. No, for the funds it can only be cash, otherwise it gets way too complicated. G parent, nice. I was giving away. Why don't you ever check contracts? Because this is the station trading challenge, and I don't check contracts. I only work with station trading on this challenge. When I buy stuff otherwise, then I will check contracts. Although contracts are just broken. I mean, with contracts, I can rarely really find good stuff in contracts. My experience there has been 99% miss. Bank robbing, don't know what you mean. By bank robbing, what I mean is so there's been changes to the ESS system. You should definitely listen to someone else talk about this that actually takes part in it. But what it is the ESS takes some of the money that is collected from bounties in a system in null, and now people can see how much money is in that ESS and go rob it. So if you do a lot of ratting and your ESS fills up with a lot of cash, then you will have a target on your back. I do check contract with Trig BPC. I absolutely do, Techno. I buy a lot of Trig BPCs via contracts, but that's pretty much the only thing I buy via contracts. Yeah. I have, and I still do though, Techno. Oh yeah, you've been taking part in this? Okay. Last time I checked contracts, about 50% were just scammy, the other 50% not profitable. Yeah, so I basically never find profitable items in contract. Like JITA price is almost always better than contract price. Like I mean, even I mean, what you can do is you can go to Adam for Eve and you can use their contract profit finder, right? This basically analyzes if it works right here. With this, you can search through contracts and it will tell you whether a contract is profitable compared to the market, and you can even search by JITA only or Amar only or whatever it is you want to do. So this will actually tell you. And even with this automated tool, I never find contracts that are worth my time, right? Even like it's like, yeah. So it's because I feel like there's, you know, like why would anyone put up a contract when there's a good efficient market going on? Unless, you know, they're trying to evacuate shit, but I don't know. Yeah. I told you guys, I did put a I did put a spreadsheet together that that quickly analyzes contracts for trick related stuff and tells me whether the contract is worth it. And with BPCs, sometimes it made a lot of money. Because on BPCs people don't really know what they're worth, and people like just put them up because they don't know what to do with them. But 99% of the time I don't find them worth it. Fat fingers? I haven't not found a fat fingered contract. Yeah, exactly. So because this type of tool exists, they're really you're gonna have to look very hard to find a good contract, because it's easy to check. Beastlinger, you made 100 million in 1 minute with that contract tool. Congratulations, man. But it is very clunky, Techno. You're absolutely right. Yeah. Yeah. So Dweeb, if you don't know what to do with those BPCs, keep putting them up in worthless contracts, because I will buy them all. The thing about trick BPCs is they are most of them are worth nothing, and a few of them are worth good money, and you just gotta find, you gotta sift through some piles and then have a look at the ones that are worth something, and then hopefully people don't notice and you can get a good price. That's basically the strategy with trick BPCs. Anyway, so that's the Adam for You contracting tool, and this is Amar. We'll keep on going through these. 600 for Signal 25s. I can't get stuck with more Signal 25s. So I'm gonna pass on this one probably. 600. I don't know if it's gonna hold. We don't know if it's gonna hold. Yeah, thanks, Starter. Thanks for reminding me. So we're gonna actually cancel this order right here. The noises, those do still work. 3-1. This is 317. Tranquil Electricals definitely do that. These are way too cheap. Right here, the Republic Fleet High Captains, for some reason in Amara, they're running super cheap. Noise 5s. Yes, thank you. I will buy at that price for sure. And Drone Tactical Limb. This one's actually working better than I expected. Because that spread is great and it's very difficult to get them sold, but every once in a while you can. I mean, this is definitely either sell or buy territory, this item. Because you see the dots at the extremes, but yeah. So then we have 4 orders left. We could see if there's something to sell here in Amar. Not these guys, because these guys we're gonna have to sell somewhere else. I fear. Nobody really buys them here. People only sell them here, as you can see by the dots right there. And the prototypes, I'm just selling a lot of them, and the price is just in terrible territory. So I can't really sell anything right now. Let's see here, the Drone Tactical Limbs possibly. Yeah, we can try to sell these. Because we're gonna put them up for 36.46. Here we go. And then the rest is going to be buy orders, and we have 58 million to invest. Yeah, buy junk filaments in bulk for sure. And in order to invest these a little bit more, we have 60 million. So if we have a look at what has sold well here in Amar, I'm just sorting my wallet by the biggest trades. So Fierce Exotics, we've been able to sell them really well, but I already have a buy order in there. Fierce Electricals have sold really well. They've just like in just like in Jita, these have just gone off the charts because somebody just bought up all of them, right? Somebody's just buying all of the Fierce Electrical Filaments, which, like, newsflash, this doesn't make any sense whatsoever. If you're paying 10 million for your Fierce Electrical Filaments, you're not making profitable runs, right? I mean, so just for those of you that don't know, this is the Abyssal Tracker that Vitor was doing. That Vitor that was hanging out in chat earlier built. Fierce is tier 3, right? So you're gonna get 14 million in loot, okay? If you're paying 14 million for your filament, you're a fucking idiot, okay? That's just that. There's no other way of sugarcoating that, okay? Even if you are leaving 10 million on the table, or 13 million, I'm guessing you bought for 10 or 11 million. Let me see here. You are... Phenom, are you hinting that I should have an exclamation mark abyss command? I get it. So let me get it. Let me get this straight. Somebody comes in here, buys up the market for at least 10 million, right? Then uses this filament, spends 20 minutes in there, uses ammo, has a risk of losing a ship, uses up boosters maybe because they're idiots on top of that, and then comes out with the same amount of loot that they spent. So what the hell are they doing? Right? And this just, I mean, people like that just piss me off because they are just going against all rhyme and reason, and they're messing up the markets. But yeah, the experience is worth something. But you don't need to run tier 3s to get that experience. And you don't need to manipulate and buy out a market for 10 million. You know, you don't need to. You can just... Look. The ragings are 14 million. Just run raging. That's so don't give me no. So I love Abyssal content, right? I totally get that it's great content, but you don't need, nobody needs to run fierce electricals for 14 million. There's tons of other ones out there that you could run and get the same experience. And also, like, for God's sake, run some agitated electricals. If you're doing it for the fun only, you can get agitated electricals for 150k. What the hell are you doing running fierces if you're doing it just for the fun, right? Are you telling me that it's that much more fun to run fierces to pay 14 million instead of 100? No. So I don't buy that argument, okay? I don't. Chaotic electricals are all gone. If you ask me, you know, I don't think it's people. I need to get your message through the mod, eBay. Oh, by the way, I dropped a 2.5 billion ISK Gila yesterday to an Abyssal site. Yeah, I was a little mad. I shouldn't. That Gila shouldn't have been able to die. But I managed to do it, right? And that's what I'm saying. Like when people are like, oh, you know, this is there's no risk in running this fit. Sure there is, dude. Sure there is. You know, there's all sorts of things that can happen up to the point of power outage, network outage, baby aggro, wife aggro, whatever you have going on in your life. There's a lot of things that can happen. So yeah. So I'm going to stop running really expensive ship in the Abyss. I'm going to go back to trying to run higher levels and cheap ships. I like that challenge. Have you considered not being a noob and flying an Ishtar? Dude, whatever, man. I fly various ships in there. My Gila was in there because it was the safest ship that I could fly in there to reliably make money. But then again, it had to happen at some point that I would lose a ship for out of game reasons. So yeah, I'm gonna stop running Abyssals for money because it's a or at least I'm gonna stop running them to farm them, but more for just the fun aspect while still making financially sound decisions. Yeah. Bonsai, yeah. This happened when I attacked a player in my mission without realizing I was a player because I was tired. Hey, I was a bit off topic question since I know you are a financial analyst. Which European country has the lowest dividends and capital gains taxes? The lowest dividends and capital gains taxes? I have no idea, man. The capital gains tax in Germany is terrible. It's a flat 25% now. I would guess probably Ireland. Ireland has very, very favorable tax conditions. Gila is super straightforward. Biggest fear for me is no ADC and gankers. Well, I mean, it's not that. Don't like I shouldn't have lost the Gila, right? It was the total just real life thing getting in the way, right? So it's not that the ship was bad. That ship doesn't die really in a tier 5. It's total error on my part. Map is a little bit of a specific term for minerals. Should we start calling the players like time I have is free? T-hifs, tie-hifs, it's just not, it doesn't roll off the tongue as easily. But I'm willing to. I'm willing to. Liechtenstein is not a country, man. I mean, I know they're a country. Don't, you know, but Monaco, you have to have a very high net worth to actually live there. So, if you forgot to mention, it was several Bill Fit talk about. Oops, I adjusted my overview after you did that. So I suppose learn from other mistakes. Oh yeah, you're not talking to me, right? Okay, Rubax. Way to nerd that shit, man. You correcting people on how to spell Liechtenstein. I respect that. Yeah, Monaco will not accept me. Oh, we're at 2 hours and we still haven't done a giveaway. Let's do a giveaway. Let's do a giveaway. While we do the giveaway, if you guys want to do the alpha challenge, you can also support the stream by using that that link that I just posted. If you create your trading alt with that link, then I will eventually get cerebral accelerators that I sell and I raffle away on stream. So another way of supporting the stream. Okay, we are going to select a raffle. A raffle that is starting right now. Okay, guys. Exclamation mark raffle. Now. So Bonsai and Alex, you guys are gonna have to do it again because it didn't register you two. Alex and Bonsai, do exclamation mark raffle again. Don't blame me if you don't get in. Yeah, I'm gonna screw around in MR a little bit longer here. Let's see. We have some sell orders not so. Oh yeah, we wanted to find another item to invest in. So let's look at the wallet. Fierce Gamma, we're already in. Drone Tactical, we are in. Although this is a very small order. I'm going to cancel this. I'm going to put in a new order. For 18,500, and we're going to put that new order at 1,000. There we go. MP Ocelot, you want a dread from a raffle? Who is raffling away dreads? Do I won a dread from a raffle a week or so ago. Good stuff, man. You prefer trading in the market? I don't prefer trading in the market. This is a challenge where I take a completely new account from 0 to PLEX. So I put in 3 characters in the big 3 trade hubs, and one of them just happens to be an MR, and that's the one we're looking at in the background here. There's no margin here, so I'm not trading in that anymore. Fierce Electricals. We just talked about that. That's just insane. I'm not going to take part in that. There's too much competition here. I used to like trading in these. This is a great margin, but there's too much competition on the buy side. I couldn't get it fulfilled. Fierce Darks? I don't know. Can these work in MR? There's nothing. There's nothing traded here. Let me have a look at the raging. The raging situation here. Raging exotics are kind of nice right now. 6.5. Buy price is kind of steep. But sell price is nice. I might try to get in on this. We have 40 million, so I'm gonna try to get in on this. Buy like 5 of those. Okay. That wraps that up. Was a random AUTZ stream, just jumped in there and got lucky. That must be nice. So you place buy orders in perimeter because of the Citadel. Do you do the same in Amar? Yes. As you can see here, we are in a shab. As somebody pointed out, potentially people think that I'm saying a shop. I'm not telling you to put the buy orders in a shop. I'm telling you to put the buy orders in a shab. ASHAB. That is a Tranquility Trade and Production Center, and that is the equivalent of perimeter for Amar. I noticed one of my main items you put up a few weeks ago. Now there's thousands of buy orders. Well, yeah, I mean, that's why my trading is really in hard mode, right? That's just what happens when I stream everything, for sure. And Dodixie is Botane, exactly. And a shop is a shop. Yeah, a shop is a shop is a shop. Yeah, for Dodixie it's called Botane. Or it's in the Botane system. It's a mogul Yeti thing, I think. Or potentially, no, potentially it's not a mogul thing, it's a I see, I choose you. Yeah, exclamation mark raffle. If you want to enter the raffle, you can still do so. Maybe in the last